Hey friends, today I wanted to talk a little bit about intermittent fasting, something that a few people have asked me about in the last week or so, I figured I'd make a quick video about it, kind of explaining what it is and why I think it can work for people. Actually, it's not really a diet, it's more of kind of just an eating strategy. It's not about particular foods, really just about when you are consuming your food. And I've actually got a couple of in-person clients that try intermittent fasting, or they do intermittent fasting, and it seems to work really, really well for them. That's definitely what has made me more of a fan, just the idea of it. I actually don't participate in it. I've done similar things before. I'll just quickly explain what it is. So intermittent fasting simply means, or it refers to when you consume foods, you have a specific eating window, and then there's a time in which you're not eating, so a time in which you're fasting. So you're intermittently fasting. Most of the time, or how it originally started, was you'd have an eating window of 8 hours and then you'd fast for 16 hours, okay? And I know some people will extend the eating window to 10 and 14, so they'll consume food for 10 hours and then they'll fast for 14 hours. I've heard people who have had great success with that eating style as well. Not that different, just a 2-hour difference. So one of the main reasons it works, or one of the reasons it can be effective for people, is because it's simply less time eating, okay? So that's less time consuming calories. If we think of the hierarchy of importance for fat loss, which is a goal for a lot of people, it's going to be calories in versus calories out. So intermittent fasting can be strategically helpful because you're consuming less calories in the day. You're not consuming calories at the front end or the very last part of the day. So a lot of times people will, if they're fasting for 16 hours and eating for 8 hours, they'll start eating around 11 or noon, and then they'll stop eating around 7 or 8 at night. And then they're done. They're done consuming foods. That means there's less of an opportunity to overindulge in highly caloric food items late at night. And it just means you're avoiding breakfast probably. So you're just drinking coffee or just drinking tea or liquids in the morning and then not consuming foods until later in the day. And for a lot of people, that can be really helpful when trying to stay within a calorie number. So if you're, let's say hypothetically, you're consuming 2,000 calories a day. So you might start off with anywhere between 500 and 600 calories in your lunch, and you might start eating at 11 or noon, and then you might have a snack or a small meal that gets you to dinner, and that might be anywhere between 300 and 400 calories. And then you can have a 1,200 calorie square meal at night, or you can have a couple, however you want to do it. But you might have a big dinner that closes that gap of 2,000 calories, and then you're done eating for the day. And for a lot of people, that's completely doable. For some people, that's optimal. So it just, again, goes back to personal preferences. I don't do intermittent fasting. I eat first thing in the morning. I eat smaller meals throughout the day, and that works for a lot of people. But intermittent fasting is a great eating strategy for a lot of different people. Again, it's going to come down to personal preference. So I hope that was helpful. And if you weren't sure what intermittent fasting was, hopefully that explained it well. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. I can answer those for you. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Talk to you guys soon.